beyond its time. When I think of Go Nagai's Devilman, that is the first thing that comes to mind. For a manga pushed out in 1972, Devilman must have been mind-melting. It definitely would have been banned in America. On the surface, it is pure depravity. Nagai certainly has a way with pushing the boundaries of what is and is not okay for the public. Technically, Devilman is a shonen meant for, 12 to 16-year-old boys, but I'd recommend some parental discretion. And by that, I mean discreetly make sure your parents never see this. It is truly next level. Two boys make a pact to save the world from an onslaught of demons by sacrificing their bodies to those exact same demons in order to gain the power to protect humanity. However, underneath the slaying and the trippin' and all-out insanity is some seriously deep existential horror about the longevity of the human race, our place in the food chain, and what the meaning of true evil is. This is Devilman. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Hellmouth. Last year we covered Devilman Crybaby, but a certain website deemed it for older kids and destroyed the video. So now it's on Patreon. Hopefully this year we won't have the same issue, but that's what Patreon is for. So if you want to support our endeavor to cover what we want, especially non-trending anime and classics, please consider joining the Bonsai Pop cult over on Patreon, and on with the show. Devilman is first and foremost a manga series, and not a super long one, though there's been editions like Shin Devilman and a sequel called Devilman Lady, which there is no way we are ever getting by the bots, so you're gonna have to find that one on your own. The Devilman manga itself isn't particularly long, and is now out in just 2 collector's editions. It originally ran in weekly shonen magazines, starting in 1972, so it's pretty old school, and it does show. It's got that goofy Go Nagai aesthetic from the time period, but then all of a sudden there's these insane looking pages of high detail, demonic presences, really just showing off what the man can do. The contrast is crazy. And honestly, that's a good catchphrase for the series as a whole, contrast. While one moment there's comedy or some perverted joke, then the next everything has gone to hell and people are dying left and right in sprays of crimson. Now there is a lot of ways to consume this series, and my advice is to start with the manga. I have the classic collections myself. They're attractive and will look great in your collection. It's also the story in its entire form, including Shin Devilman. Everything is right there from Go Nagai himself, and you cannot go wrong with that. However, there is a series of OVAs that are pretty good. The first, unfortunately, is a little bland with what feels like almost a half hour of exposition in the middle with main characters Akira and Ryu just talking about demons, but let me get you started. You see, demons once ruled the earth and then they got frozen during an ice age, and now they're unfrozen. Their goal now is to rid the world of humans by possessing their bodies and eating them. So Ryu, the son of a dead prominent scientist, convinces his best friend Akira to join him in the Black Sabbath to become possessed by a demon willingly in order to harness its powers and fight for humankind. So the pair go down into the basement of Ryu's mansion where he's been keeping a bunch of dirty hippies. They get all hopped up on some performance enhancing substances, and then Ryu starts killing all the hippies who are just trying to jam. You see, the point of the Sabbath is to lose all reason in order to empty yourself for demonic possession. However, it isn't until the hippies go all body horror that Akira flips out and runs in terror, and that is when his reason escapes him. At this point, he's possessed by the demon warrior Amon, but Akira's pure heart keeps the beast in check, allowing Akira Fudou to become a Devilman. Now this is not how things go in the original 1972 anime, so don't get things twisted. That show was a pillar of lies and deceit, taking the ultimate badass Devilman and turning him into some kind of Sentai superhero. It's surreal and just a little bit confusing, especially considering how graphic and adult the actual manga is, but hey, children gotta grow up eventually, I guess. So yeah, Devilman 1972 is a kid's show, and it's also pretty terrible. I went through a lot of trouble procuring it, and needless to say, I will forever be disappointed. But like I said, the trio of OVAs are pretty decent. They started in the mid-80s and ended in the early 2000s, and while not exactly direct from the manga, the second chapter's fights with Jinmin and Siren are really good, and Jinmin has Akira's mom on his back instead of the little girl that Akira looked after in the manga. Also, the fights with Siren's cronies are appropriately graphic, which you gotta love. The third OVA is really good, Amon Apocalypse of Devilman. This one covers the end times and is brutal as anything you've ever seen. However, the latter half of this OVA is non-canon, so it's really just there to be awesome and full of carnage. But speaking of being graphic, Devilman is really no joke. Go Nagai pushes boundaries. If anime is punk rock cartoons, Nagai is freaking Darby Crash. Dropping a hot one like this in the early 70s had the Japanese PTA on fire, and this wasn't even his first work to piss people off, let alone the last. Devilman Lady is straight up banned in China, but again, that one you're gonna have to find yourself. So why all the fuss? Well, if you've seen Devilman Crybaby, which is currently the most accessible adaptation of Devilman, you will get it. Not only is the series raunchy, but the manga even made Mickey a bad girl horn dog. She actually pulls a knife on the bullies and tells them she wished they would commit seppuku. It's amazing, it's brazen, it's just way beyond its time. And of course, there's also the violence and the bloodbath, but then there's the dangerous ideas. Devilman isn't just about killing demons and saving the world, it's a deep existential questioning of the role of man on Earth. There are multiple instances within the narrative where the question of exactly what our role on this planet is as a species. Are we predators or something else entirely? What are we going to do about the oncoming overpopulation issue? We're compared to rabbits and wolves in the natural world and how the two keep each other's populations in check. However, we as humans have nothing to check us. The question of whether or not the demons have awoken to quell our population rises, as well as the philosophical quandary of war itself. Do humans wage war naturally to keep our population down? Is it in our nature to do so? Is it in our DNA to do so? And with the advent of nuclear weapons, have we stymied ourselves from all-out war, resulting in population overload? What's left to do about human beings infesting and destroying the earth like cancer? Coupled with this is the problem of demons infesting humans, humans turning on each other. Again, many times in the series, the witch hunts of Europe and America are brought up as an example of a culling, as they resulted in the execution of 40 to 100,000 people, which was a lot more people back then. But the ideas behind the witch hunts are mirrored within the narrative as well, with the human population eventually turning on itself as the demonic possessions become widespread. Bureaus are set up to take reports of and cull suspected demons, including Akira and the other humans that were pure-hearted enough to become devilmen as well. And of course, all of this was set in motion by none other than Ryu, who stirs up panic across the world during a television broadcast. And spoilers, I guess, for an almost 50-year-old story, but it turns out Ryu is actually Satan. And that's when the S hits the F, if you know what I mean. With the human race at each other's throats, the world becomes like a living hell, the humans more like the demons, until the lines blur completely. Akira begins to amass an army of other devilmen he rescued. However, he has to leave best girl Mickey's house after it's revealed that he is in fact Devilman. The anxiety over the hidden demons hits a fever pitch, and the town descends on Mickey's house, which is invaded by a psychotic mob. In a moment that legitimately shocked me, Mickey's parents are cut to ribbons. Her baby brother is decapitated before Mickey herself is dismembered and put on pikes outside of her house. Pikes which Akira finds as he laments that Earth must truly be the real hell. And ironically, it kind of is at this point, seeing as Satan is now in charge. To double up on the irony, the reason Satan was cast out of heaven was because he wished to defend the demons created accidentally by God himself. He feels God didn't have the right to destroy something he created, so Satan chose to freeze himself and the demons away. This is an allegorical twist on Dante's Inferno, in which Satan resides in the lowest layer of hell, frozen up to his neck in ice and constantly clawing his own back. When Satan emerged, he loathed the humans who had polluted and destroyed his beautiful Earth. So in order to learn how to destroy them in turn, he had a demon hypnotize him into believing he was this boy, Ryu Asuka. However, during his time as a human, he tragically fell in love with Akira Fudou, which is explained by Satan being intersex, because you can take the story out of the 70s, but not the 70s out of the story. Anyway, after the tragic demise of Akira's love, Mickey, the Devilmen, and demons war for 20 years, and in the end, everyone dies. All humans, all demons. Left washed up on the beach, Naruto style, are Akira and Satan, who laments his choice to destroy the humans, finally realizing that he had done exactly what his father had done all those years ago. Eventually, he realizes the bisected Akira is dead, and Satan is left alone forever. absolutely brutal. Not only do you get the questions about the future of humanity, population crisis, hate, the violence of man, but then you end it all off with the sins of the father. It is insane how dense this story is and how sad. The futility of Akira's struggles, a tragic end for the innocent Makimotos, and after everything, Satan is left alone on the earth he loves so much to simply ponder his mistakes, the same mistakes that made him hate God as much as he did. There's a reason people call things masterpieces and why Devilman is counted among them. It's genius. Nagai creates a manga that is incredibly controversial, automatically making it more desirable for his target demographic, which is young people. Then Toei makes the anime a kids show, making the character of Devilman a beloved childhood hero in Japan, and obviously those kids are going to grow up and check out the manga. And all of these people, from the edgelords to the up-and-coming generation, experience Devilman, which tricks you into consuming a hard-hitting cautionary tale of the nature of man, how despicable we can be to each other when fear is put into play, how fear itself is the true weakness of the human species, how fear is our #1 predator, fear of the dark, the unknown. It's how we create enemies and start wars, through fear-mongering, propaganda, making the other out to be a people we can never see eye to eye with. After I put the books down, I couldn't believe how relevant they still are right now in 2020, maybe even more so. We fight and argue in the name of protection for what is ours, along borders that don't truly exist, across races that don't scientifically exist, when in reality we are all one species living together on one planet. The final irony of it all is that the humans had a chance, but in Devilman they just could not get it together. They couldn't fight the fear, they needed to stamp out the unknown. The possibility that a demon could be inhabiting someone close to them was enough to simply eradicate them on the spot. Whether or not Satan seeded the evil, it was the humans themselves who let it take root and in the end destroyed themselves. It's these uncertain times in which we live where we need to band together as a species and overrule our self-destructive nature and cherish our bonds. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and go experience Devilman. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike. I just wanted to shout out our Super Saiyan God of the Week. It's your boy, Luthi. Luthi, thank you so much for being one of our top patrons. And your super lucky patron of the week is Patrick. What's up, Patrick? I like your name. Thank you for being one of our patrons and helping support this channel. If you like this video, I recommend checking out every single other video we've ever made. Here at Bonsai Pop, we like to keep the content creation consistent. My name is Mike. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.